Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to another plan with me. This week I'm planning for the week of the 24th to the 30th of June, and I went to Stationeryfest this week, which is a planning and stationery conference slash market in Manchester, and it was really fun. I think this is the third time that I've been, so I wanted to commemorate it with a special kit. I designed this kit for, I think it was my 7th shop anniversary last year, and it's basically called like Planner Camp, so it's sort of Planner Festival themed, and I thought it would be perfect for Stationeryfest. It even has festival in the name. I'm also using a silver foil like star patterned twinkle foil pack from my shop, which is 5 sheets of overlay stickers that go over the kit or any kit, and they add a bit of sparkle. And then I've got custom scripts which are also from my shop, so I don't have to write my plans or my memories in pen. So this week, like I say, it was Stationeryfest and it was quite a chaotic week. So I was really kind of stressed for quite a lot of the days. I didn't really leave enough time to get ready for this event. It's probably the first event where I feel like I actually haven't been prepared, and it was really stressful, so I don't want a repeat of that for future events. We had to leave on the Friday and we could set up on Friday night, which thank God, because I was so behind. But I didn't finish setting up, which was also quite stressful because I assumed that I would get time to finish. But we also arrived later than I expected, which was not due to traffic. It was just because I can't do maths in my head apparently, and worked out the time wrong. So we didn't end up finishing, which was stressful. And then I also just slept really badly. Don't really know why. So when I had to get up really early on Saturday to finish setting up, that was just a struggle. And then the event itself was really good, but I feel like I would have had a much calmer time if I'd been a bit more prepared. But yeah, I still had a really great time. It's a really good event. I think it's coming back for 2025, but I don't know when it is going to be. And then I also wanted to mention that my planner, I use a 7x9 planner from Tilly Journals. Tilly is reopening, I think, on the 21st of October for planner pre-orders for 2025. So if you're interested in a planner, go and check out her social media and her website. It will be reopening. I get asked quite a lot where my planner's from, and Tilly's not always open, so I can't always just say what I can say, but I can't always direct you to where you can purchase them. So I wanted to mention that they were becoming available again. The planner I'm currently using is slightly customized, so it's technically her hourly layout but without the times printed on it, which is a bit confusing. But there is a vertical planner which is very similar, and I don't know if she has any changes lined up, but you can see all of the layouts on her website as well. So I'll quickly speak about my base. I've done the same thing that I did in my Eras tour spread, where I went back to I feel like it's a traditional way of memory planning where you have the 3 columns. I know a lot of people still do it, but I haven't done it for a couple of years. But I thought I would try it again and see if it speeds up doing my base. And to be honest, I think it does. I feel like this might be how I do them going forward, because I also want to try and do a couple of bases in one go and kind of batch film those and then film the plans separately. So I think just knowing that there's a set layout that I'm going to follow will be helpful for me. So, and I also think it looks really pretty because you get all the headers and I get to use my header overlays, and it's just really pretty. There's an excuse for more foil, I guess. So I think I'll probably keep doing this going forward, but I do really like the kind of blockiness of having it all separated, even though my plans always go chronologically anyway, so there's no reason to really split the day in half with a header. And then I've done quite a few, well, for me, quite a few. I've done 3 extender boxes for this spread because I had a lot of extra plans on the weekend. So Thursday, Friday and Saturday all have extenders. And on Thursday I did an extender box that kind of flips upwards, and then I've done the outside flipping ones for the double box. I thought that would look nice, kind of complements the fact that it's the double box scene. And I tried to do the wide ones without using the wide extenders, and I got in a bit of a faff, so I don't know if I would recommend that, but I just folded the regular full box extender in half. So I don't know, you can use them in a multitude of ways, but I just thought I would give it a go because I'm not really that experienced putting them down yet. I'm trying to use them more though, and I do need to use them more because I have more plans than I have space for. And I also have a little freebie from Josephine Bow Designs, which has a stationery themed full box overlay. So I just put that on my, like the underside of my extender, because I didn't really need that much extra space and I forgot that I didn't. So I filled that gap with the overlay, and then I've also put the Stationeryfest script on the toolbox in the sidebar, just as like a little nod to where we were going at the weekend. I did intend to use this, but I forgot, so then I had to try and like squeeze it in where it would fit. So moving on to the plans, on Monday I marked that I had messaged the photographer that we saw at the Eras tour and asked if I could have the photos that he took of us, and he got back to me super quickly and we got these like really amazing like professional photos of us, which is just so cool, so a big thank you to him. But I got those this day. And then I mentioned this in the last vlog, in the last plan with me, so there may be a bit of repetition, but this was the day when I returned my curtains from Argos after I had my drama with them being kind of misdescribed in the description. It had basically said that they were a pair of curtains and they weren't, and then the guy was really rude about it. I mean, he did the return, but he was funny that I'd opened the packet and was trying to return it, and I think that's like not a big deal anyway. But then like he didn't really like, I don't know, he just seemed like annoyed that I was returning them, but it wasn't like I was returning them. Well, I mean, I feel like I have a right to return them anyway, but it wasn't like I was returning them because I just like changed my mind, like they were actually not fit for purpose. So not that that means that you have more of a right, do you know what I mean? Basically, I felt like he was rude for no reason, so I marked that that I was annoyed in my planner. And it was really hot this day, so I just marked that it was really hot, because I don't know, I feel like you probably can't call it a proper heat wave. I'm very sensitive to the heat anyway. Once it gets above kind of like 21, I am like, it's too hot for me. But yeah, I just marked that it was hot. So when I got back from Argos, I had to then fit the curtain because I'd ordered the replacements from John Lewis, so those are already here. And Joanne from Josephine Bow Designs helped me basically figure out how to do it, because I'd bought a curtain pole and it had like fittings and stuff, and I had to use the big drill, and she just helped me because the drill is technically Tom's, but I use it way more than Tom. He's not like super DIY minded, whereas I don't know, I wouldn't say I am, but I'll rise to the challenge a bit more. So I fit the curtain pole, and then I made some custom scripts for orders. So I marked that with a little heart from the foil pack, and I designed some new kits this day as well for new releases. So I marked that with a little laptop from the kit, and if possible I'll try and take like the icons from the kit, but I do like to colour match my icons to like the colour of the day. So this day was like a minty colour, and mint is a really, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like a tricky colour to match like to the exact shade. So if I could get away with using them from the kit, it was saving me a lot of time trying to pick a green icon, because all of my greens are either like lime green or forest green. And then in the evening I made some albums for Stationeryfest. A lot of the time I'll try and keep my album stock separate from events, like my online stock from my event stock, but I don't think I had very many albums ready, so I had to make some extra ones. So on Tuesday morning I had the dentist, which is never the best thing you want in a really busy week. Luckily everything was fine, I didn't have to have anything done, and I was really happy about that. So I've used a little tooth from Fox and Cactus, and it has a little princess crown on it, and that was how I felt. And then I got home and I had to test the display stands that I'd ordered for Plannerfest. I'd got these MDF ones cut, and I've used like a laser cutter service. Like there's a lady near me that offers it, and she's cut a bunch of things for me before, and we weren't really sure what material to use for these. She quoted me a variety of woods in like different like widths, and I think there was a shortage of a specific wood at this time, and it was quite expensive to do like a certain kind of wood. So we ended up going, I think it was poplar, and I think birch is like the strongest that she could offer. We went with poplar in like a thicker mill, and I don't know if it was the right choice or not, but I did snap one as I was assembling it to test, which was really sad. And since then I've also snapped a couple of other ones, but I think I mean I've super glued them and they're okay, but I think I'm gonna get some replacement like pieces made just in case. Although that's the bonus of like making it yourself, is I can just get her to cut me more of whatever I need. So I think it was the best way to do it still. I made some more albums, And then I posted in my Facebook group. I don't know what I posted, it's been too long. I put update post. So maybe an update from the sale. I think maybe this was when I've like fully finished all my anniversary sale orders, so I assume that was what it was. And I wrote a packing list this day for Stationeryfest because I was feeling quite frazzled, and I was like, what can I do to try and make myself feel better or a little bit more organised? And the packing list was a good shout. It really did help me, and I had like a separate packing list for all the store stuff and my personal stuff. But I think a lot of the time just getting everything down on paper means that it like doesn't have to live in your brain, so I need to try and remember that all the time and just write everything down so that I feel more organised. And my mum also got a new job this day, which was very exciting, so I marked that in my planner with like a little Coffee Monsters Co. like star achievement emoji. So on to Wednesday. I think this was the day where I accepted that I actually am stressed and I do need to try and like, ramp up the pace with getting ready. So I just marked that with a stick with the Planco squidge and a script. And then I had a delivery of ink, and this has been going on for a while now, but sometimes when my ink arrives, the packaging looks slightly different, and I've had a theory that the colour is slightly different, and it's only very slightly different, but it is still noticeable. So it means if I'm printing like a set of kits or sheets, I have to do them all on one printer and not like mix them up if the ink brand is different. So it's just like something else to think about. And this has only actually happened with the cyan ink so far, but if it starts happening with the other inks, I think I'm going to like lose my mind. So that's annoying. And then we went to McDonald's and I got a pineapple and mango smoothie. I just really like them sometimes, like I randomly crave them. So we got one of those, and I worked on my price list this day because for each event I do redo my price list, because a lot of the time the stuff I'm bringing to one event I won't have for another event, or it might only be a few items that are different, but I do like to just have like a corrected price list for each event because it's only one sheet of paper and I don't want to be like overly confusing. Then we did some of like the Forest app, the productivity like Forest app thing. I did that with Joanne, Oakley and Beth, so I marked that. My tablecloths came, so Joanne had found some new tablecloths for this event where they were like elasticated on the bottom. They're kind of like a massive fitted sheet, and we got those instead of just like the ones that you have to iron, so they're so much better. Mine are in like a lilac-y purple colour, obviously. And I did custom scripts again this day, and then I worked on some orders in the evening. So I'm just adding a few extra little like foil stars to my like clip art pieces. If there's any gaps or like solid colours, I like to just put them in because it adds a bit of extra sparkle. And then we're on to the second half of the week. Sorry if the audio has been really weird. I've just realised that my microphone, like the input volume, was quite low. So I've just adjusted it and hopefully it's better now, but I don't know why that even happened. So on to Thursday, I woke up quite early and I did some Christmas in July prep. I don't really remember why I had to do this because Christmas in July would have been at the end of July, but I assume there was something time sensitive that needed doing because otherwise kind of a weird choice for such a busy week, but I don't know. And then I tried on the dress that I wanted to wear for Plannerfest. I had a bit of an issue like not really knowing like what bra to wear with it, so I bought just a random like nude bra thinking that it would work, and it didn't. But then I ended up realizing that the dress was fine without a bra, so I ended up not needing the bra that I bought, but good to have a spare bra, I guess. So I marked trying that on with a squidge sticker. And then there was a gigantic moth, and Tom is very afraid of moths. I'm not as bad with moths, I'm worse with spiders, so he can remove the spiders and I will sometimes deal with the moths. So I just marked that there was a really huge one because we were both terrified. I then needed to get change out for the event because I don't really keep a lot of cash on me, so whenever I need change for an event I have to kind of scramble to figure out where I'm going to get it from. But I remembered that there is like a Hollywood Bowl near us and it has a little casino in it, and I was like, maybe they have a change machine. So I went inside and they do. I could only get pound coins, but it's fine because I made most of my prices end in like be like round pounds or end in like 50p. So I only needed pounds or 50p's anyway. And I got I got like £20 worth of pounds. I just put a £20 note in the machine. So that's my life hack for getting change. And I don't know why I never thought of it before. And I know you can go to like banks and post offices, but I don't really know if the post office like doing it. And I don't really know if I have any physical banks anymore. Like my business bank account is Starling and my main personal bank account is Monzo. So they're like the challenger banks that don't have branches. So yeah, getting change is really difficult. So I was really happy that I figured that out. I had my eyebrow appointment, so I did that like en route to minimize like errand running. I did some laundry this day and unfortunately keep breaking my sock error. It doesn't have many pegs left that are functioning. I really need to get a better one. I keep eyeing one up, but they're so expensive for what is essentially just like pegs on a thing. And I do have two, and one of them is less broke than the other, but I really would just like one big one. So I might cave and get one, but I'm also like, well, what if they just all break? Like, that's really annoying. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but yeah, I'm just too heavy-handed, I think. And then I'd been waiting for some quite important Amazon packages, things to do with the stall, and they arrived, but they were completely soaked, and I don't know if it had been raining. I remember thinking it was weird that they were wet, and like they were fine inside, but one was like kind of a techie thing, and I was like, I really hope this is okay. Why would it be wet? So that's always fun. Then my friend Jenny offered to make me, there was this like crochet dress that Taylor Swift had been pictured wearing and it went like a bit viral, and Jenny likes crochet. She tried to teach me to crochet once and I didn't really pick it up. I mean I did okay, but I didn't really enjoy it. I really hoped I would because I quite like the idea of knitting and stuff like that, but not really for me. I'm not very patient, so I think it's a bit of a slow craft. Which makes it even more nice that she offered to make the dress for me, and she's almost finished it. I'm very excited, but I haven't got it yet, but I think she just needs to do the sleeves. So that was really nice of her to offer. Then I separated out some stock for the event. You can see me like starting to prep, but the fact that we leave on Friday and I'm only just doing this is not a good sign. And I also washed my hair in the evening, ready for the next day. So moving on to Friday, this was the day that we had to leave for Manchester, which is about a 2.5 hour drive, so not insubstantial. I finished packing in the morning and I just marked that I was really behind. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, we were kind of flexible in terms of like leaving time. My dad was coming to look after the dog and we'd booked the dog walker to come and walk him before Dad got there, so that Ari wasn't like, depending on what time we left, Ari wouldn't be alone for too long, so that was good. But I just felt really like stressed, and I think it was worse because I knew it was all avoidable if I'd been more organised. And then I marked that I was messaging Emma, who is my friend who comes and helps me with events. She lives in the Netherlands and she was flying in straight to Manchester, so I met her there and we were just discussing like ideas for the stall and things that like maybe I should bring or not bring. And in the end we were like, let's just bring everything that we can and decide there because we don't know what to bring. Then I marked that we set off to drive to Manchester. The drive was surprisingly okay. You never really know with like longer like motorway journeys, are you going to like bump into accidents or is it going to be fine? But I think we left sort of early enough in the day that we kind of just missed rush hour as well, which was great. I then had to send Tom to find an Amazon locker because I'd ordered something else last minute and there was no way that it was going to arrive to my house on time. And Sarah suggested, she was like, why don't you see if there's an Amazon locker nearby? And I was like, that is the best idea. I've never thought to do that. And now, whenever I go to like an event, I'm always like, do I need anything? Can I Amazon locker it? Because they're everywhere, which is amazing. So I sent Tom to the Amazon locker, which was in a train station, and he got really lost. I don't think it was in like the most clear location. And he was really struggling, and I don't think either of us had good phone signal when he was trying to ring me, but he did eventually come back with the package. It was some of those price clips that you can like clip them to anything really and put the price on the other end, and they're sort of adjustable, so really handy for trying to display prices on things. So I marked that I set up the stall but I didn't finish, which was frustrating, but it was fine because we did have time the next day and we got it all done in the end. But I think because I didn't know how much longer it was going to take, it was just a bit stressful. We then walked to the hotel, which was literally across the road from the venue, and checked in. It was a Premier Inn, I think. Oh, I remember now. So we were going to stay in an Airbnb for this trip and they cancelled it, so we just had to book the Premier Inn last minute so that we had somewhere to stay. Then when we checked in, we ordered Fire Away for dinner. Beth had some codes on, if it was Uber or Deliveroo, so we just ordered food. And me and Tom got Fire Away, which is just like a pizza chain, but I'd prefer it to Domino's or Pizza Hut. Then we'd gone to bed and I really needed a drink and I didn't have anything and I just really wanted like a squash or something. So Tom was like, should I go down to reception and see what we can get? And I was like, yeah, cool. So he went down and the bar was, I don't know if it was closed or it just didn't have any still drinks. And one thing about me is I can't drink fizzy drinks. I really hate the texture, so I've just never drank fizzy drinks. So I like couldn't have like a Coke or something. So he ended up walking to the nearest McDonald's, which wasn't that far in Manchester city centre, but just, I don't know, I could have just had tap water, but I wanted a juice. But if I knew it was going to be that much work, I would have been like, no, it's fine. So he went and got me an Oasis from the McDonald's. So, Saturday morning, this is the day of the event. I marked that I slept so badly. I don't know why. I'm not normally like bad for sleeping. I'm fine sleeping away from home. But I don't know if it was just like the stress of knowing that I hadn't finished the stall or something. But I messaged Emma and I was like, are you awake? Are you ready? And luckily, well, not luckily, but she hadn't slept very well either. So she was ready to go. And we met at a Starbucks, got some coffee, and then walked over to the venue. It was raining quite badly and we were kind of just like trying to stay sheltered a little bit, and when we got there it hadn't technically opened yet, so we were trying to get in, and Becky, who is the event organizer, was kind of arriving just after we did, so they let her in and then they let us in which was great. And we went up and got let into like the big like storeroom where all the shops were, and we were able to finish setting up the stall. So we worked on that and got everything done, luckily. And I marked that we were the only ones there at 7 a.m, which was when it opened. And for some reason I assumed that everyone would be like really last minute and like setting up in a rush like me. But it really only seemed to be just us for quite a while, so that was weird. Then I just marked with a flag that it was Stationeryfest, and I used a little dog from the clip eye in the kit. And then I marked that I made a reel with Beth, so we really wanted to do, I don't know if you'll have seen it, it's probably not like trending anymore, but there was a thing on TikTok where people would go to a concert that isn't Taylor Swift and they would be like, do you think she'll play Love Story? And then it will pan to the other person and they'll be like, no, this is Plannerfest. That was what we did. And it's just funny. It feels really weird explaining things that are meant to be funny, but I really wanted to do that, so we found some time to make that little reel. Then I marked that we got coffee from Karina and Loretta. They came and saw us at our stall and they were like, we're going to do a Starbucks run, do you want any coffee? And I was like, thank you, yes please. So that was really nice of them. Then I marked that we ordered Pret, kind of for lunch, but I think it was like later than lunch because we were super busy, but we managed to like find some time to order. And I got this baguette and I was so hungry. It was honestly like the nicest meal I've ever had. That's how it felt, because I was so hungry. And it was just like a chicken and bacon baguette. It was really nice though. And then a few weeks later, or maybe the next week, I really like fancied it again, so I ordered it at home from my nearby Pret, which isn't actually that near, and it was nowhere near as nice. So I like fully think that it was just extra good because I was so hungry. So that was a bit of a shame, but it was really good on the Saturday. And then I just marked that we had a really good day. It was so much fun. It's a really full-on event in terms of like bringing your stall. It's very much like, I see it as a work event rather than like an event where you attend and kind of get to like partake, but that's fine because I know that going into it. But it was such a busy day, but a really good one as well. So once the event ended, I marked that we packed up and it was so rainy. So how it works at Plannerfest is, I always call it Plannerfest, it's Stationeryfest. How it works is there's like a drop-off area, but there's not room for everyone's car. So once you get to the drop-off area, I think you have like 10 minutes to unload or something. So we packed up as much as we could into boxes, and then Tom went and got the car and like brought it round. And because it was like torrential rain, people went to try and get their cars really quickly, so there wasn't room for us to get our car for ages, so we just like hung about. But then we packed up and left, and then we went to a Burger King at the services because we were really hungry and needed to get some dinner. And I quite like Burger King. It's not one of Tom's favourites, so we don't get it that often, but I really like it. And I had it recently, actually. I think I get the chicken royale or something. I don't know, but it's nice. And then in the evening I marked that I was reunited with Aristotle because my dad had been looking after him, and he'd actually been really, really good. And my dad like gave him like a rave review. I thought he was going to be a nightmare, but Dad said he was great. So that's good, because that's like someone else that can look after the dog. But yeah, I did miss him over the weekend when we were away. So on to Sunday. I marked that I was just so tired, and it was basically a sofa day. I did not really move from the sofa, and that's not like me because I don't really enjoy just kind of doing nothing, which is probably a character flaw, but I could not do anything. I was so tired. So I just marked that with an emoji. And it was also the day of the Austrian F1, so I marked the race results. I've been enjoying doing this with the little ombre box, so I put that it was George, Oscar, and then Carlos. And then in the evening, I marked that Ari was really sleepy, which was funny because he hadn't really done, well, I say he'd not done very much. I think my dad took him on a massive walk, and Ari's not a super active dog. I know people were quite surprised when I say that because he's a reasonably big dog, but quite low energy. So my dad took him on a really long walk that I think was just like way too long for Ari. So he was super tired the next day as well. Then we watched the darts, and I'm not really I enjoy watching the darts casually, but I've never followed the darts. But my friend Beth does, and she was speaking about it at the weekend, and I was like, oh, I could get into darts. So she told me the rules, and I actually quite enjoyed it. So I've not really watched a lot since, but a new sport for me to kind of casually follow. Then I marked that we ordered Nando's for dinner because I really wanted Nando's on the Saturday evening, and we just like couldn't really get one because of the time we were driving back. It was kind of awkward and we just wanted to get home. So that was my Sunday dinner, and then I just marked that we watched TV for the rest of the evening. So those were my leftover sheets, and I also did grab the glitter add-on after I started filming, so it wouldn't have been in the beginning when I flipped through, because I needed some extra glitter headers. But this is my completed spread. I'm really happy with it. I love how it looks. I think doing the 3 headers was such a good choice. Again, just like for logistically planning the boxes, but also how it looks. I think it's really pretty. This is what's under all of my extender boxes. I did do the silver foil, and the like sampler from Josephine Bow Designs is in hollow, but I think hollow and silver are quite easily kind of mixed and doesn't bother me. But I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!